Last month in the Lord's Supper talks, 3 of the 5 talks were on the 7 sayings of Jesus on the cross. Those 7 sayings, just to recap: number 1, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do, Luke 23:34. 2, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise, Luke 23:43. 3, woman, behold your son, behold your mother, John 19:26-27. 4, my God, why have you forsaken me? Matthew 27:46, Mark 15:34. 5, I thirst, John 19:28. 6, it is finished, John 19:30. And 7, Father, into your hands I commend my spirit, Luke 23:46. Last month, 3 of the brothers gave talks on number 1, 2, and 5. And I would like to unpack number 3. John 19, and I'll read verses 25 through 27. But standing by the cross of Jesus were his mother and his mother's sister, Mary, the wife of Clopas, and Mary Magdalene. When Jesus saw his mother and the disciple whom he loved standing nearby, he said to his mother, Woman, behold your son. And then he said to the disciple, Behold your mother. And from that hour, the disciple took her to his own home. I want you to notice how much Jesus really cares about people, and even how much he cares about you. John 13, verse 1, the evening before his crucifixion, John reports, now before the feast of the Passover, when Jesus knew that his hour had come to depart out of this world to the Father, having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. When you compare the names of the women at the cross in the various accounts, it seems that 3 of the women here are named Mary. Mary, his mother, Mary, the wife of Clopas, who might be the same Cleopas, who was one of the 2 on the way to Emmaus, and Mary Magdalene. The 3rd woman is the sister of Mary, who, when you compare accounts, is probably Salome, who is the wife of Zebedee and the mother of James and John, probably making James and John cousins of Jesus. Jesus' brothers may not have come around yet, and they probably weren't anywhere to be seen at the cross. And so Jesus commits the care of his mother to the one who may very well have been his cousin, her nephew. But he loved his own, even to the end. And who would his own have been more than Mary, his mother, and John, his beloved disciple? Jesus cares about people. The prophetic portrait says, surely he has borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we esteemed him stricken, smitten by God, and afflicted. Isaiah 53:4. Take note, he bears our griefs and carries our sorrows. In empathy for dear friends tormented by the pain of losing a loved one in a fallen world, he wept with him at the graveside of Lazarus. The shortest verse in the New Testament says in two simple but powerful words, John 11:35, Jesus wept. He participated with them in sorrow over the death of another. And yet, during the ultimate act of supreme love, his mother is overwhelmed with sorrow over his impending death. And even here, in a manner of speaking, he bears her griefs and carries her sorrows. Instead of focusing all of his attention on the excruciating pain of his own suffering at that moment, he takes thought for her. After his birth, during his presentation in the temple, the old prophet Simeon had told Mary, "A sword will pierce through your own soul also." Luke 2:35. And now, like a dagger, that sword was piercing her. And Jesus sympathizes. He hurts with her and for her. At the beginning of his earthly ministry, he attended a wedding feast in Cana of Galilee, and there, in a mild rebuke to his mother's over-aggressive suggestions, he gently pushes back with the words, "Woman, what does this have to do with me? My hour has not yet come. It's not yet time to vindicate all that you know that the rest of the world doesn't know." You can imagine all the talk in a small town of Nazareth of her having conceived in her virginity, what others must have thought, and how she wanted to right all of those wrongs right then and there. And no, the time is not right yet. That won't come until I'm lifted up, until my hour has come. And there is a degree of distance in the word woman. Woman, what does this have to do with me? Although it was not intended to be as disrespectful as it might sound to our Western ears. And still, he does not say mother or mom or even Mary. He addresses her as woman. Flash forward around 3 years later to the cross, as if to remind her of that earlier occasion where he performed his first miracle and the fact that his hour of destiny had now finally arrived. He addresses her as woman again. But this time, with compassion for the one who had borne him in her womb, and realizing that she of all people knew that he was a miraculous child, the Savior of the world, divinely conceived, he says, "Woman, behold your son." It is a recognition that as painful as this moment is for her, this is why he came into this world. He is fulfilling his destiny. But he is not only carrying our sorrows and grief on that cross, he is bearing hers as well. He is thinking about her well-being, her overwhelming sorrow at the loss of her firstborn, and her future care When he cannot count on his own brothers, he entrusts his beloved disciple, who is probably his cousin, entrust her care to that disciple. And he is dying for her sins and for ours as well. On the night before, he had given assurance to the apostles and through them to us. Truly, truly, I say to you, you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice. You will be sorrowful, but your sorrow will be turned to joy. And so it is over and again whenever we remember why he died such a cruel death on the cross.